Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Venus RX. It's Lacey. This is where I talk about topics that are on my mind right now. And what I was thinking about lately is that is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend topic going around right now, which I thought it to be really funny here, where people were coming up with different reasons for why they hide their man because the British journalist, she was talking about how women are hiding their mans these days. They don't want people to see them. They don't want people to give them the evil eye. Is why some women said they hide their man. They're very superstitious and they believe other women trying to evil eye their partners might work. I don't really believe in that. I don't think the evil eye could break up any relationships that weren't going to be broken up anyway. I refuse to give any power to the evil eye here. I just don't believe it works. I'm like, return to sender and whatnot. Why I do think it's embarrassing for some people to have boyfriends, not others. I think it's embarrassing for some people to have boyfriends because it's like it's like they make it a part of their worth here. Like, they feel like that guy is an achievement. It's an accomplishment. It's a lot different than seeing somebody giddy and in love. I love seeing that. I love love, even though I love being single. I love love so much. That's why I'm single. Not just joking. I love seeing people in that giddy phase where it's really true love, and then I don't even care if they're like leaving their friendships behind, because some friends do get pissy when you're in a relationship. I can't not touch on both sides. Some of them suddenly need you a lot more. Some of them like suddenly, like, they just don't like the fact that you have a man here. What's embarrassing is some people think that having a man is special. For my realization is that men are pretty easy to control. Like, it's not really hard to find a boyfriend. It's hard to find a husband. It's not hard to find a boyfriend nor a husband. It's hard to find somebody that you really click with, like that divine love. A lot of women are single because they just don't feel that passion for somebody else, and they don't feel no need to fake it these days. A lot of men, same reason. I feel like it's crazy how, like, having a girlfriend can seemingly bring down the social value of a man, but having a boyfriend is supposed to up the social value of a woman. So I'm glad it's equaling out here, where it does become kind of annoying here. Having a man is embarrassing when you want to take him everywhere with you in a girl's hair. I've met girls like that. It's like, my man, my man, my man. Okay, well, my man is coming. You can't bring your man on a girl's trip. So there's been girls who, because they can't bring their man on a girl trip and whatnot, they just gotta have that man around to like irritate other girls. They'll still go off and like be in the car with him, arguing with him, like, or like sneak him in anyway into her bedroom, and then she not going out and swimming. She laid up with the guy. Like, that's annoying and embarrassing and humiliating here. Also, as somebody who lived in New York, another time having a man is embarrassing is when they're always looking for a third, like, I have gone out to many clubs by myself and met a lot of different women. A lot of people in New York go to clubs by themselves. You can meet singles for friendships, and you can meet singles just, to date too. But there's like a heavy amount of women who would go up to you, start conversations with you like they're girls, whatever. I'm having a conversation, and then out of nowhere, oh yeah, my boyfriend likes you, and I'm like, why is that too? Like, why is that? And I used to have my Tinder on where I could have friends too, and I would talk to girls on Tinder and whatnot. A good portion of them were looking for a third in their relationship and online. I'm like, why are you looking to have like some sort of threesome? And a lot of them are looking for that for no other reason than to try to break another girl's heart. They be wanting that girl to want to be a part of their poly couple so then they could say, like, no, you can't because you're not the special one. I'm the special girl. And like they think it's something special to have a boyfriend, and it boosts up the ego of men here. Like those pick me's, they boost up the egos of men. It's not that hard to find a man. It's hard to find love. Like a lot of people will be with you if you're attractive, here you want to be, yeah, I'll be your boyfriend, and they'll hang around you and stuff. There's a lot, and then not only that, you could tell, like, because some girls I met, they're with straight up losers. I'm like, there's some girls that still have their. I remember there's this one girl. She had her boyfriend posted still on her Instagram and whatnot. I noticed okay, I know about 2 to 3 of them that have their relationship on Instagram, but they hate their boyfriend. One was cheat. She was in the military and she continuously cheated on her man, her boyfriend, and whatnot. But she's like, I'm staying together for the kid and whatnot. I'm like, you're not together for the kid. You're together for Instagram. You don't want to look like a failure to other people because your relationship ended. And I could think of how my sister, when she ended up divorcing, it's like her whole life fell apart. She's like, I'm a failure. I failed. My life is a facade. Mind you, this dumb bitch graduated college. She had a good job at that time period. But the only thing that was a marker of her success to her was having a marriage that lasted here. And like I feel like this is through because she was one of those people who like to shame baby mothers and women who had kids at teenage years and whatnot. She wanted to be perfect and like a superiority thing. When you have a man for superiority, and then when you have I don't even understand like superiority, like you just think that that's something that other women are envious of. Oh, you don't have a man. And then not only that, they men be your men don't like, yo, if you got a bum, like I think you should be like, you could love happens, I'm not love happens outside of money and outside of like love itself is kind of embarrassing. Like when you think about love, it's like, oh wow, I kind of love you. I kind of don't feel in control of like I want you in my life. It's a humbling experience in itself to feel like you really want someone, a human being, when naturally a lot of human beings we hate each other. It's like get out of my face. Like, like yeah, like for the most part, it's kindness here and there. But I do feel like it could be embarrassing to fall in love. It's even more embarrassing when you're bragging about having a guy that's a bum, or you're upholding a facade to compete with other people who don't treat you right. Like, it's so many women who I know are attached to men that literally emotionally abuse them, and the men know they can do this and get away with it because that's the type of girl who, as long as I got a man, like, then I can have somebody that makes me feel good and fulfilled, like, better than the next person. So these people don't bother, so their man don't bother to treat them right because they know just being there is enough. That's embarrassing. I also knew a girl who's like, I got into fights with my boyfriend. We fought each other. This happened. I'm back in the DV shelter. I lost my apartment behind this man because they made her leave leave him because they got into physical fights in front of the kids. So then she had to leave the apartment. I think he also came back, like, and she's telling me all of this, came back to threaten her and all of this and whatnot. And she had to leave. She had to go into a DV shelter. Why does she still have him posted on Instagram? And then these women weren't going after any accomplishments in life. Why is your only accomplishment looking for love and a relationship here? Of course, it's natural to crave love and a relationship, especially if you have physical needs. Yeah, I think it's natural to crave love, especially if you have physical needs. You know, a lot of people want to get into relationships so they could hopefully lower the risk of STDs because they're not sleeping with multiple people. But then if you think about men these days, he might be cheating and he could well on give you an STD. So it's like, I thought about that too. That would be like my one craving for having a man. Like, you know, I wanted something to smash on. And you don't want to deal with a high amount of men. They're scary to deal with. They're like, you know, they're not like, you know, like, you know, and they get annoying, the ego, like, you know, it's like, you know, and then once I think of the ins and outs of actually having a man, and he gonna have to, that's when my standards kick in and my lifestyle kick in. He cannot be anybody. I'm definitely not having no boyfriend that disrespect me, talk down to me, try to belittle me. I like to shoot the shits back and forth. If we playing, it's cool. Like, what did Queen Latifah say? You and TY, that's the unity. Who you calling a bitch? And then in the song, she's like, you know, if we playing, it's cool. I'll be playing disrespectfully too and whatnot. But you know, once somebody cross that line and it becomes physical, nah, I'm out. I can't even imagine dealing with half the itch that women deal with just to say that they have a man. I also can't imagine having a man and then looking for somebody else to fulfill that. Like, I guess everybody has their kinks and stuff, but for some reason, for a lot of women, I don't think it's just the kink that they're looking to find another female. They're looking to like hurt another woman's feelings with being special, like, you know, and especially when the guy is ugly, you know, he's not fit, he doesn't have a job and whatnot. Some women need that competition to even want to be with that raggedy guy because you just found anybody to be in a relationship. I used to think it was about pleasing the guy. I'm like, oh, you going that far to please a guy? I'm like, it's not about pleasing a guy. I'm like, you got a superiority complex. You want to please yourself indeed. You want somebody to want your man and then like you be chosen over this girl. That's what gave you some sort of high, you know? Like it's like, you know, you're obsessed with other women and that's why you need a threesome because you're not sexually interested in this guy because you don't really love him and you just want a man because you feel like it's a marker of success. You know, I dropped that in life, feeling like having a man and a husband is a marker of success. I go for personal successes. My biggest personal success is making it out of the Bronx. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like, yo, I'm like, I can see the markers building up in my face from frowning outside. Markers, you know what I mean? The lines building up in my face from frowning outside. Like, I'm like, you know, and then I'm like seeing all these crackheads every day, low vibrational. I'm like, I seen a tweet too that said, living in the Bronx, I was never meant to live in the Bronx. I'm like, same thing, you know. But like now we're moving more towards personal accomplishments. Another thing I dropped feeling like was a marker of success was getting my driver's license. I'm an adult. I'm 33. I don't have a driver's license. I used to feel really ashamed about that until again and again I revisit the doctor's office and every time I go outside and that pressure builds up in my face and like all the the tears drip out, not from me crying, but because whatever they say, your eye pressure is off. You can't blah, 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 blah. And half the medication I was on said I can't drive or operate heavy machinery. I no longer feel bad about not having a driver's license. I'm like, because I was not able to pass that driver's test because shit, I can't drive. Might try again, might not. But the fact that I'm able to get myself to Europe, around the world, make good money without it, I no longer feel like that's a marker of success either in life. It's like we all got to go towards personal accomplishments. I don't feel like being married is very beautiful. It's very, divine if it's love truly there and whatnot. But being married is not a marker of success. It's not anything like that. It's not a graduation cap, basically. A wedding ring. I got a ring. That's not the same as getting a 401k. That's not the same as growing a successful garden here. It's not like something to brag about, I would say. It's just something that either happens or it doesn't happen. But I'm glad people are saying it's embarrassing because, yes, it's kind of very embarrassing when women use relationships to as markers of success rather than, just something here. I feel like relationships are something that are still interesting to talk about. They could still be like, something people go through. But, like, if you're using that as a marker of success, definitely embarrassing. If you think that it makes you feel superior, it makes you superior than other women, very embarrassing because why would having a man make you feel superior? But that's it, you guys. I hope you have a good day, night, evening, whenever you're catching this rant message. Bye.